Hi everybody, I'm Chantal Howard. I'm excited to welcome all of my fellow momtrepreneurs to this little glimpse into the life of Zelie Martin. Her personal development tips for us might be slightly different than what we would hear at the latest rah-rah inspirational speaking conference. She depicts a life of struggle, of anxiety, and yet of intense discipline and of self-donation. So for those of you who haven't dived into her life at all, she's kind of like the 19th century equivalent of a blog mom. She wrote tireless letters, and so they're very accessible. You can look up the letters, you can spend time enjoying getting to know her and the way in which she managed her home and so many other aspects of her life. And of course, the crowning jewel of the gift of Saint Therese. It's a remarkable story. I myself encountered it when I was in France as a young woman discerning religious vocation, and on the feast of Saint Therese, I was given a book about the life of Zelie Martin and the beautiful union of Zelie and Louis. And to be honest, it completely altered the course of my life. I'm now a mom of 6. I'm a busy entrepreneur. Honestly, I find myself looking at Saint Zelie on a daily basis and just saying, help me. Help me get through and help me know how to live heroically the work that is before me. I too have 5 daughters like she did. I also have a son though, and she endured the loss of 4 of her children. So this woman is no stranger to the heartache of so many moms. She also endured a season of unrest in her country, economic and political. It was a time of great anxiety. So we can relate to her in that context too, because I think for many of us during this lead up to the election and the craziness surrounding COVID, we're all feeling a little bit unsure of how the Lord is going to direct our steps and our businesses. So let's take a look at a couple of her words today, and I want to encourage you again, read Saint Zelie's words. You will find great consolation in them. So the first quote I have for you is actually taken, the context of it was that they were getting ready to send some of her girls off for a vacation. It sounded like there were many things on her plate at the time, and she just says, I have urgent orders to do this week. None are completed, and that worries me. She was one of Europe's finest lace makers, Point de Lançon lace. It was incredibly intricate, and it required an incredible artistry, and she was a craftswoman. And not only that, but she had 9 others that she trained and oversaw to make this business successful. So not only did she herself have to know the art, but she had to be able to teach and train and manage and advertise and market, and all the while rearing her kids and dealing with the suffering of her own ailing body. She would wake up at 4:30 in the morning and not go to bed until 11 at night. Sounds eerily similar to my challenge right now. I've got a newborn. I'm trying to juggle all of this at once, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if Saint Zelie did it, I can too. But the interesting thing about this that just kind of strikes a chord with me is the fact that we have to be okay with embracing the fact that we have to multitask. And I know this isn't a big popular statement right now, because many people would like to say, order your life, deep dive, time block. And yes, I encourage you to adopt into your business management style any of those skills that you can, but keeping in mind with having to homeschool all of a sudden, perhaps for the first time, or having an infant at home, or dealing with just the other demands of life, of needing to be there for your husband, of homemaking, of prepping dinner, you have to be okay with multitasking. And so I encourage you just to rest in that and to know that Saint Zelie did that well. She talks about how she would be doing the lace and the kids would be dancing at her feet. And I think, quite honestly, I could be wrong, but I suspect that not everything was perfectly ordered all the time. She had a child with learning disabilities and mood disorder. And so I suspect that we can rest our head against her heart a little bit and put ourselves at ease about feeling like we have to have it all together. The other thing that she shares with us is that burnout is real. So if you're experiencing this time of life, and especially with all that's going on, and you're beginning to experience burnout, listen to what she says. She says, oh, well, that's the day so far, and it's still only noon. If this continues, I will be dead by the evening. You see, at the moment, life seems so heavy for me to bear. I don't know about you, but there are many days where I feel that kind of pressure, that weight on my shoulders, when I know that the breadwinning responsibilities rest on me at times, or the children's formation is heavy on my heart, or their behavior is slipping and I need to address something. And there are times when it feels heavy. So burnout is real. And I think that a lot of times we have to accept that in these seasons, the only recourse we have is the recourse that St. Zelie gives to us, and that is to surrender, to truly trust that the Lord will be sufficient for us in our weakness. And we need to remember that when times get tough, we were made for tough times. We were designed. The Lord intends for us to move through the struggle, to allow that resistance to grow us. So even if burnout comes into our life and we have to let things unravel for a season, the Lord is there. We haven't missed the boat. And that's the next point. Better late than never. She says, I want to become a saint. It will not be easy at all. I have a lot of wood to chop, she says, and it's as hard as stone. I would have started sooner while it was not so difficult, but in any case, better late than never. In this fast-paced environment of online marketing, when we are up against such steep competition, when we are trying to stay with the latest and the greatest, and we're dealing with an economy that is struggling, it's easy to feel like you've missed the boat, or perhaps you're never going to catch it. And I think this is a great little nugget of wisdom, is that it's never too late, no matter where you are. Even if perhaps you're just thinking about getting started, maybe you have a call on your heart to give a talent, to let a talent develop, a little cottage industry. Maybe you have the need to become a virtual assistant, again, to bring some extra income into your home. Or perhaps you're further down the road and you're already in higher levels of management or team building or other areas of business. Just know that it's okay to keep beginning again. It's never too late. And the Lord will provide success in His time and in His season and to the extent that is necessary for our families and for our lives. The next point I want to share with you is that she really talks about, and this to me is like the bedrock of where St. Therese drew her little way, and that is the little things, to focus on the little things so that when the big things come, we're ready. She says, it is over the little things that I worry most. Whenever a real misfortune happens, I'm quite resigned and I await with confidence the help of God. I think in this context, her sense of worry is more like focus, right? It's the little things that make a big difference and prepare us for those times of extraordinary trial, the times when we miscarry or we have illness, or we're faced with job loss, or we're faced with other types of crippling experiences in our life. It's in the little things. And so this is where I will point to one author that I think is so excellent in this space, and it's Jeff Olson. The book is called The Slight Edge. Many of you may have read it. If not, go get it. It's a beautiful, beautiful read, especially with your children. The whole idea is that if we do little things with great love now, right? If we do the little things, the small daily disciplines, they will become easier and they will result in our success down the road. But if we neglect the little things and we decide to choose comfort now, we choose to put things, to become burdened by debt because it's convenient, or we choose not to manage our money well, or we choose those things that are just more oriented towards self-satisfaction and self-gratification, then those become the burdens later. So let's focus on the small things, little tasks, great love, even in our business. Maybe it's just one check off of the many list, the list of many things, but do that well. And over time, that snowball effect will accumulate to greatness. It's the same way we dig ourselves out of messes as well. If you are burdened with debt, if you have made a big mess of your business management or of your family finances, we snowball, right? Dave Ramsey style. We snowball by small actions, and over time we end up with a greater accomplishment before us. Okay, lastly, leadership means suffering. She says, I long for rest. I have not even the courage to struggle on. I feel the need of quiet reflection to think of salvation, which the complications of this world have made me neglect. How many times, busy mama, I see you and I feel your heart. How many times would you rather just spend time in adoration, or journal, or go for a walk, or be in silence, or sing a hymn, or dance without encumbrance, or whatever restful or contemplative thing that you would like to do, and yet you have a little one nagging at you, pulling on your skirt tails, or needing your attention, or another business meeting, or another phone call you have to take, or a project you have to deliver on. Leadership demands that we push through and that we endure the isolation in a different context of feeling the weight of our responsibility and doing it anyway. And I just want to let you know that you're not alone in this struggle. She felt it keenly. There's so many times she would have liked to just turn to the cloister again. And yet it was through this context of being an active businesswoman, a mother, that she was able to raise holy children for the kingdom and bring herself ultimately to the Father in a glorious state of sainthood. Pretty amazing. So could just conclude here with a quote that is often attributed to St. John Paul II, but is also, I've seen, given to St. Zelie. So you take your pick. I don't think we can go wrong either way. And that is, it is necessary that the heroic becomes daily and the daily becomes heroic. Again, it is the little things that will make the lasting impact in our businesses. And while yes, we need, the great personal development books, we need to read The Magic of Thinking Big and how to win people and how to win friends and influence people. And we need to have the inspiration of the Tony Robbins and the Michael Hyatts and so forth. Let's rest on the beautiful example of St. Louis and St. Zelie Martin, who really unpack for us the fact that leadership means suffering, and we don't have to be afraid of it, because in the end, the Lord will give us the grace, and he will magnify and refine the gifts that we give him. We give him our business, we give him our children, we give him our illnesses, our heartaches, our anxieties, and he takes them and he elevates them into holiness for us and for countless others. So you can be a saint in your business, as you are. You can be a momtrepreneur saint. And I would love to hear from you and walk with you in your journey as well. You can come find me at aromarosary.com as well as chantal-howard.com. There you'll unpack what I do, sharing natural wellness tips with the world, as well as rosaries that hold and diffuse essential oils to enhance your prayer life. And I encourage you to also find me on social media, and let's continue the dialogue and see how we can inspire each other. I'd love to know what it is that you do. What are your inspirations? What are the strengths that God has given you to magnify? And I can't wait to hear from you. In the meantime, again, let's make the daily little actions of our lives heroic, full of love, Saint Therese style, and we will do great things for the Lord and for the kingdom and for those around us.